Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. Today we're going to tie a Grizzly wolf. The hook I have in the vise is a size 12. This is a dry fly hook. This is 2 extra long. I'm going to use 8/0 70 denier thread. This is black. We're going to bring the thread back halfway and return half of that so we have our wing position. And get rid of that excess. For our wing, we're going to use deer hair. And I have a bunch trimmed off, and I have it in my hair stacker. When we pull it out of the hair stacker, we're going to take it out with the tips facing the direction we want to tie them on. And I have a long one there. There we go. We want this wing to be about the length of the hook shank. We'll go ahead and tie this in. Hold that wing tight. Put a few tight wraps right there. Don't worry if it splits like that. Ooh, I just moved it. I'm going to take it back a few wraps. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut the tag ends off. And I'm going to trim these off at a bit of an angle. Then we're going to go ahead and tie down the remainder of it. Lift that wing, and that wing is a little bit far back, so I'm just going to wrap forward just a little bit more to move that wing position up. And I lift it up, and that's better. Secure it nice and tight so when you pull it up, it's not going to move back on you. There you go. And we're going to wrap in front of it to stand it up. I'm going to take the wing and I'm going to divide it. A couple of wraps that way. A couple of wraps that way. I'm going to wrap around each individual wing. And take the second one, give that a couple of wraps. Oop, we got a couple of unruly pieces there. I'm just going to wrap them in. Now for the tail, I'm going to use brown bucktail, and on the top of the bucktail, it's a little bit softer. I want the hairs from the bottom of the bucktail to get nice, long, stiff fibers there. And I have a bunch of them in my hair stacker. We're going to pull them out the direction that they will go on the hook. A lot of hair here. We're going to measure them up, and we want that tail to be not quite as long as the hook shank. So that's about what I'm going to put on there. I'm going to trim this off, and I'm going to leave some so that tag end will go up to the wing. I'm going to go ahead and wrap that into the wing. And then you can wrap that down pretty tight. One of the reasons you use bucktail for the tails is it's not going to spin like the other deer hair. It's not as hollow because it's not needed to keep the deer warm. And we're going to wrap this all in. Wolf patterns are made for heavy water. You can fish a mayfly hatch on nice heavy water. The wolves are very buoyant. Lots of hair, large amount of hackle. And this particular one, I'm going to use, actually going to put Hare's Ear dubbing on. I'm going to use Hare's Ear Light. And we don't need a real lot of this because we have a pretty thick body now. So you can make a fairly skinny noodle. But you do need enough of a noodle to cover the entire thing. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this. I'm making this for more of a March brown hatch. Got a little bit too much wax on my fingers. And we're going to bring that up right in back of the wing. Now we're going to take a grizzly hackle and a brown hackle. I'm going to tie them in back to back. That is the convex sides together. I'm going to put them right between the wing and tie them down, leaving a little bit of the trimmed area exposed. And we're going to tie them down in front, and we're going to build up the hook shank in front so we don't have a giant step. Now we'll take our hackle one at a time. I'm going to start with the brown since it's further away from me. And that first wrap, there's no barbels shooting out towards the rear. Put a wrap in, move to the front, lift the wing, and rub tight against the wing. And take this hackle right up front. And we'll tie that off. I'm going to take the grizzly hackle and we're going to wrap that. And bring that right up through. Run it tight against the wing. And tie the remainder of that. Go ahead and tie that one in. And then we can wrap the head. Take our whip finish. Tug that tight, and here we have a grizzly wolf. You can tie this with different bodies, styles. You can tie this, you can use even a yellow floss on there. You can use brown floss, whatever kind of floss. You can put a rib on there. And I hope that you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.